Hello. I haven't done a live video in so long, I can't even remember all the details, but it's important to me today to share a few things with you. We are in the middle of Black Friday week with Thrive Life, and there are some awesome bargains. And I don't have room on my counter to show you them all, but I'm going to show you the deeper ones. So Dan, I need you kind of close. So had a really the hardest part of this was sorting everything out on my counter. But I'm going to show you the 30% ones off first, and then I'm going to go from there. So these are peas. These are 30% off this week. If you have not tried the peas, then you have missed out, because they are just like they came from the garden. So, pardon?
You won't have time to sell everyone.
Broccoli. I have a broccoli boy. I have 2 broccoli boys for grandkids, so look at that. 30% off the broccoli. It is big, it is beautiful, it is crunchy like chips. The kids love it. Oh yeah. Mangoes, also 30% off. This is Dan's favorite. Actually, this and the blueberries, wouldn't you say, Dan? Mm-hmm. Okay. The mangoes, in fact, he just made some rice pudding the other day and put some mangoes in. Okay, so we have 3 kinds of apples. And these 2, so Granny Smith apples and Fuji apples. This is an older label because I've had it for a long time. That's okay, because it's 25 years, 30% off those. And look at this one. This is the cinnamon apples. These are not always available. This is a limited time item. But let me just show you what these are like. These are fantastic. So these, the other ones you can count on, but these ones, when you see them, then get them, because they're not always available. So they are just lightly, they're the Granny Smith apples that are lightly cinnamoned. Beautiful. Okay, don't put those away. We're probably going to want to nibble on those. Okay, those ones, those cinnamon apples, you just took the thing off it, but I think it was 40%. Okay, this here, this is dragon fruit. Now this is a brand new item, and I have never tried dragon fruit in any form. And so I bought some of these. They're a limited item. Actually, it's a special item. I don't know if you're familiar with dragon fruit. They're quite delicious. Some people love it. For me, it's quite new.
130's behind you.
Anyway, I'm happy to know what that tastes like, and I'm happy to have them on. Okay, so the other 2 that are 30% are the berries. Raspberries, blackberries. We do have other berries, strawberries and blueberries and cranberries, but those are the ones that are on for 30%. Those ones go downstairs then. So some of these are not open and some of these are open. So, okay, those are the 30% ones. I think and I do have a few more here. Sliced onions. So, actually, let me show you these sliced onions. So they are, the chopped onions are chopped nice and fine, so they kind of disappear. The sliced onions are, if you want to be able to see the onion and whatever you're refreshing, then those are really, really handy.
And if you don't want to cry, just slice onions.
You know what? I do not slice onions anymore. I don't chop onions anymore. I do use fresh onions once in a while if I want to put them in something special, but as a general rule, those days are over. Okay, so let me show you this. Now this is 25%. This is the scrambled egg mix. And I use this a lot. We use fresh eggs in the summer because we have access to fresh eggs in the summer. But in the winter, we don't. And I probably buy maybe a dozen eggs a year, like fresh eggs, maybe twice a year. Because the only time I ever use them, of course, is in the winter. And only if I want boiled eggs or something like that. For the most part, we use these eggs. So freeze-dried scrambled egg mix for just about everything, for scrambled eggs and omelets and baking and just about anything that we do with eggs. We use that one for in the winter when I don't have access to fresh eggs.
You said applesauce too.
And applesauce, which I have right here. Now the applesauce, now this is dehydrated, but it is so easy. Hey Sandy, I missed that meeting today, rats. Anyway, the applesauce is amazing. I use this for muesli. I use it for applesauce, actually. I use it a lot, mostly in the winter. In the summer, I have a lot of fresh produce in the garden. Okay, para. This is amazing. This is change your life amazing. I just pour that in a little bowl. Mix it with less water than you can even imagine using, just like a tablespoon or whatever. Just mix it with the back of a spoon like you're mixing icing, and before you know it, it turns into whipped butter. And you just do it till you like the texture. If it's a little too dry, put a little tiny bit more water in it. If it's a little bit too runny, then put a little bit more butter in it. So the butter powder, having that on your shelf all the time is very, very handy. Okay, I'm going to talk about the instant brown rice, 30% off. The instant black beans, 30% off. And I got some pepper jack cheese. So when I was putting all this together, I thought, you know what? I have been making some fresh tomato sauce. I put some salsa in it, some of my own salsa, made it nice and spicy, and we're gonna have a burrito bowl for supper. So I just whipped up these. I'll show you these a little bit more in a minute. The corn is gonna go in our burrito bowl, of course. The corn is spectacular. It is just like it is fresh off the cob. A lot of it, we just eat straight out of the can. And I'm not even going to refresh it when I put it in our burrito bowl. So I'll show you that later. Okay, you put all those away? Wow, good work. Okay, so here's the bigger discounts. Kale, 40% off this week. So Black Friday week went from Tuesday the 21st to Monday the 22nd. I love this kale. It is so handy.
Are quantities limited?
No. Well, while quantities last.
Well, supplies last.
While supplies last for sure, but they have a lot of supplies, so you got no problem with that. 40%, 45% off the cucumbers. I had somebody the other day ask me, what on earth do you do with those cucumbers? Tzatziki. That's what we do. Number one, what we do is we put that in our tzatziki. In fact, I just taught a class the other day on how to make tzatziki. And we use these. The other thing is my grandkids love to eat these because they're so sweet, but they're very, very small, and I don't want them all over the floor. So I put them in a little cup, and I showed them how to eat them like lizards.
Exactly.
Yeah. You put them in a little bowl, and then you go like this. That's how you eat it, like a lizard. And then you don't drop anything on the floor. And you're happy, grandma's happy, everybody's happy. All right, green peppers, 45% off. That, and then chicken slices, 40% off. Whoops, there we go. I love these chicken slices. They're nice and big. So if you're gonna do something like a fajita, or like you really want a nice big size, then that's perfect. Okay, this is the pepper jack cheese. And pepper jack cheese is Monterey Jack with jalapeno peppers in it. And it is delicious. I really, really like it. Just enough of a zing to make it interesting. So I refreshed some of that the other day. We're gonna have that in our burrito bowl. And what else do I have here? Oh, right. Sausage crumbles. I could not, there was a day I couldn't imagine what these were like. That pepper jack cheese has really got some nice thing. I love it. Okay, look at this. They're so big, the pieces, and they're lightly seasoned, delicious, easy to refresh, just in plain water, just tap water if you want. Put them in so many things. So, love that. And then green beans. This is my favorite vegetable to put on the table as a hot vegetable. They're so quick to refresh. I boil the water, put these in the bowl, pour just enough hot water just to cover them, put a little plate on top, leave it for like 20 seconds. I'm not kidding. Strain it off, put it on the table, hot vegetable on the table, as if you just brought it in from the garden. That is not a joke. Okay, so this is the exciting part. Oh, wait a minute, before I get to that. Cheese sauce. Cheese sauce. So whether you're making mac and cheese, whether you want to put it in your cream of broccoli soup, cheese broccoli soup, whatever you want to do with the cheese sauce, ready in 5 minutes. Beautiful. Spinach. Now I do have a broccoli boy, a couple of broccoli boys in my house, but I also have a spinach boy. There. Yes. Huh. Dan is not the spinach boy, but he'll eat spinach if I put it in with this. So I have a little spinach boy. His name is Wyatt. He is almost 11 years old right now, and he will eat spinach in anything. In fact, we made a deal. He confessed to me one day that his goal in life is to beat up his big brother. So I took up his cause, told him all about Popeye. And that freeze-dried spinach is way better for you than canned spinach, and nobody even likes canned spinach anyway. And I think that's why Popeye existed, was to sell spinach. And so every time he comes over, I put spinach in his food. And I promised to never tell his brother. That's 50% off. That spinach, 50% off. At that price, I buy cases. This here, cranberries, lightly sweetened. Nobody is going to eat a straight cranberry if it's not lightly sweetened because they're too sour. But just lightly sweetened. We eat them straight out of the can. I make our traditional cranberry sauce out of them. I use them in baking. I use them a lot. 50% off. That's worth buying a case. Okay. So there's a lot of other things that are 25% off. But I didn't have room on my counter to show you all those. But I will put the link in the bottom, or maybe in the comments. First comment after all this. Here's milk. This is 50% off for the entire month of November. It's not a Black Friday sale. It's a November sale. It is the best instant milk that you will ever find. And like no exceptions.
We've done the taste test blind, and it wins every time.
We have. I cannot say enough good about this milk. In fact, I've got some of this milk in the fridge right now. The nice thing about it too is not just that it tastes great, which you don't really expect from instant milk, but we only have 3 people living in this house most of the time. When I have grandkids come over, I might buy a gallon of milk. But for the most part, it's just 3 of us. But we do like to have porridge and cereal and things like that with milk once in a while. So I just whip up 3 or 4 cups and just keep it in the fridge. And that way, A, it doesn't take up a lot of room in the fridge. And B, it never goes sour because we just don't use the other ones fast enough. Okay, Dan, I'm gonna make that burrito bowl. Can you bring me those bowls? So I have been cooking some tomatoes. I've been using a lot of tomatoes. These are still left over from my garden. I'm getting down there. Okay, I need the rice and the beans. Okay, so I whipped up some of this. I love brown rice, but brown rice takes 45 minutes to cook, as you know. But this is instant brown rice, and it takes like 12 minutes to cook. So I cooked up some instant rice. Here it is. It's been sitting there waiting for just a few minutes. I'm going to put some instant rice. Well, I'm not going to call it instant anymore because it's cooked. I'm going to put some brown rice in our bowls. So handy to have when you want something very nutritious and yet quick. Okay, this is the black beans. And the black beans, I just put, so there's a cup of black beans in here, the instant black beans. I put a cup of boiling water in here. And so I'm gonna just put that, actually, you can see what I'm doing. It's not great. Maybe if I did that. Oh, that's better. Okay, so I've got some salad on the side. I'm gonna put on some black beans. And literally, I just put the water on these and let them sit for a few minutes. I'm gonna put on some corn. Oh wait, just gonna use my hands because it's just Dad and I. There, I'm gonna put on quite a bit of corn because we like corn. And then, okay, Dan, I need that sauce. I made some beautiful salsa. It was gonna be a soup actually until I was doing all this and decided to do a burrito bowl. So this is just fresh tomatoes and what? A little bit of onion and garlic and salt and pepper. And then I put some of my prepared salsa in it just to give it a little bit of zing. And that's it. I did refresh for another meal the other day. I refreshed some Monterey or some pepper jack and some cheddar cheese together. I'll put that on the very top. That was quick to do, but this has just been sitting in the fridge. Once it's refreshed, that freeze-dried cheese, you just act as if it was fresh cheese because that's what it is. And it will go bad if you leave it on your counter, but if you put it in your fridge, it'll be fine. Okay, that's it. There's our burrito bowl. Hope I don't tip it off. There's Dan. And we're gonna have supper. And everything that is in here, well, the salad actually is leftover, still stuff from our garden. And everything else that's in here pretty much is on sale this week. So I don't even know if I introduced myself. I'm Cindy. You're in my kitchen. This is Dan from Backyard City Homestead. Take advantage of the sale. Take advantage of all these great things at bargain prices and stock up because that's the time of year. All right. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye. So, Dad, you got to press finish for me.
All right.
There you go.